Title: When the Trade War Throws the Board. Okay, so where do we even start with this? It's like someone flipped the Monopoly board and screamed, "We're doing things my way now." That's the energy coming out of this tariff saga. I mean, when Sam Cedar says we're in the middle of the beginning of a trade war, it sounds poetic, but also kind of terrifying. You don't start a fire with the intention of figuring out the fire extinguisher situation after. And yet, here we are. Tariffs are flying around with guns blazing, and everyone's pretending like there's a master plan. Spoiler alert, there isn't. But here's the thing. They're not evil little creatures on their own. They're tools, like wrenches. The real question is, are we actually building something? Or are we just swinging that wrench like we're in a bar fight? Trump's use of tariffs feels more like a bar brawl. No sequencing, no roadmap, no plan to build up domestic capacity first. You don't hit the ground running by tripping over your own shoelaces. It's like imposing massive taxes on imported goods before figuring out who's going to make the sneakers here. Boom, price hikes. And who takes the hit? Small businesses and consumers. And then, of course, there's the smuggling. Yep, that's back on the table. It's wild to hear Cedar say it, but it makes sense. When the cost of legit importing gets so high, people start finding creative and illegal ways around it. That's basic economics, mixed with a bit of Prohibition-era throwback. Suddenly, there's more bang for the buck in sneaky back channels than in legal trade. And when that starts to snowball, it's not just a trade war, it's economic chaos wrapped in patriotic slogans. Let's not forget the metaphor madness. Monopoly? Really? Trying to make sense of global trade policy through the lens of a board game is, well, it's something. But the thing is, if the U.S. the banker in this metaphor and everyone else is flipping the board, doesn't that suggest we're the ones getting slapped with our own plastic hotels? That kind of irony only works if you're completely unaware or just don't care. Which brings us to the Rubin doctrine of, I just like tariffs. Not because they work, just because. That's a vibe, I guess. But it's not a policy. And then there's the global reaction. Countries aren't just getting mad, they're organizing. China, retaliating. Canada, smacking us with their own tariffs. Other nations, trying to call, but the White House isn't picking up. You know what happens when you ghost people in diplomacy? They move on. They build their own trade clubs. They start making deals without you. And if we keep this up, they might not just exclude us, they might replace us. That's the real danger. Once you're not the table everyone wants to sit at, it's hard to get your chair back. But here's the most unnerving part. There's no end game. Cedar's right. There's no clear C in this A to B to C plan. Trump's strategy is basically tariff now, figure it out later. But we've seen this movie before. Remember COVID? The supply chain mess? You can't just wish industries into existence. You can't summon semiconductors or pharmaceutical plants overnight. And if you don't plan, you don't bring closure. You bring confusion. And speaking of confusion, how wild is it that we're talking about building new economic alliances without the U.S. at the center? That's not just a pivot. That's a global shift. A new order, as they put it. And maybe that's what we need. Maybe it's time to stop pretending the U.S. can just muscle its way through everything. Because this isn't about showing off or being tough. It's about making sure our policies actually serve people. Right now, we're throwing punches without aiming. And if we keep doing that, we'll end up knocking ourselves out. So yeah, buckle up. This trade war isn't just about economics. It's about what kind of global player we want to be. Do we want to lead through cooperation? Or do we just want to bully everyone and hope they stick around? The answer to that question might just shape the next decade. And frankly, if all we've got is monopoly metaphors and I just like tariffs, we're not ready for what's coming.